Let me know.
You're good to go.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kim Crider. I am a health educator, community health coordinator with WellSpan Health. I'm also a registered certified yoga instructor, and I will be leading you through a talk today about heart health and heart month. And then we will get right into a gentle yoga practice. And I will provide more instruction prior to the yoga practice. But for right now, I want to talk a little bit more about heart health. So February, if you didn't know, is Heart Month. So we are celebrating our heart today and the entire month of February. And you may or may not know that heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. And some of the risk factors that you want to be aware of, and checking in regularly with your primary care physician or whoever sees you on a regular basis, are things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, having a diabetes diagnosis, being diagnosed as overweight, or you have a non-active lifestyle. So if you're not physically active on a regular basis, that would be a risk factor for heart disease. And so this afternoon, we're going to go over how stress can affect your heart, finding ways to manage your stress, and how being physically active can help you manage your stress. So we'll start with how stress affects your heart. And when we are looking at stress, we have acute stress, which is stress that's happening in the moment, and then chronic stress, which is response to emotional pressure. And it's over a prolonged period of time. And oftentimes you perceive that you have little or no control over that stress. So that would be chronic stress. And that's the kind of stress we're talking about right now. It can disrupt nearly every system in the body. It can suppress our immune systems. It can disrupt our digestive system. It can also increase the risk of heart attack and stroke, as you might imagine. And then it can also speed up the aging process. So these are all things to be aware of. And that's not an exhaustive list, but they're things to be aware of when you're looking at your daily lifestyle and how you might be able to make some changes to reduce or eliminate chronic stress. We'll never get rid of stress. It's part of everyday life. And, because we can't get rid of it, we need to work on coping behaviors that allow us to reduce those uncomfortable feelings or those physiological responses. So we're just looking for those strategies. And again, I'm not going to be giving you an exhaustive list today, but really focus on some of the big ones. And the first one would be setting limits. Oftentimes we say yes to too many things and we overload ourselves. And starting to take a look at what is absolutely necessary for you to do and what's not necessary, and cut back on those things. And really look at, sometimes we can think everything is necessary. Oftentimes it is not. And so taking that time to really be truthful with yourself about what you can let go of. And then also don't be afraid to ask for help, either looking at where you can set limits or getting help setting those limits. The next thing to be aware of is sleep. So sleeping, as many of you know, is the way our body rejuvenates. And when we, oftentimes in America, not sleeping a lot is looked at as kind of a badge of honor, when in reality, it's not great for our health. And so looking at trying to do relaxing things before bedtime, setting a bedtime and a wake up time, and if your bedtime is, let's just say 10 p.m., you're looking that hour before bedtime to really start to wind down. You're putting away any electronic devices, TV, that kind of thing. Maybe reading, maybe doing some gentle yoga, maybe listening to some calming music or meditation, just different things that you can do, maybe taking a bath, having some sort of routine that starts to settle you down for bed, and then hopefully lead to good quality sleep. The next thing to be aware of is breathing. Breathing is one of the gentlest ways that we have to restore the body after a stress response. And it's a very powerful tool. There's a lot of different breathing techniques that you can look into that will help you with alleviating stress. So deep breathing, and we'll do a little bit of that today, or abdominal breathing. Often we're very shallow breathers. We don't breathe into the belly. That helps regulate our heart rate and improves the oxygenate. Oh, I knew this word was going to get me. Oxygenate, the oxygen getting to our heart. And it releases tension in the muscles in the body. So best of all, the thing I love about teaching breathing is we all know how to do it. We're just practicing a different way, and it's free. You can do it anywhere, and depending on the breathing technique, no one is the wiser that you are working on managing your stress. And then lastly, talking to a friend or a professional. They can help you figure out strategies that may work well for you, and maybe see things that you don't see yourself. So those are just really overview ways that you can look at reducing your stress levels, and then in conjunction help manage heart health. And then the great big one is physical activity. So physical activity is by far the most effective way to manage stress. It helps bump up the production of your brain's feel-good neurotransmitters called endorphins. So usually when you feel better, you can cope or manage your stress better. So we're going to incorporate physical activity. So, and I'll come back to that in a minute. So the more you can be physically active, even if it's just 10-minute chunks across your day, 3 10-minute chunks, rather than, a 30-minute chunk that you may not be able to manage. Just get physically active and get moving. We're going to do both of those things today. We're going to get physically active, and we're also going to work on some breathing and abdominal breathing. And something to keep in mind, when we're stressed, it's really hard to add more new activities, right? It's like, oh man, I've got one more thing on my to-do list. But what we're encouraging you to do today is to find one thing that you can work on to improve your health. And it can be as simple as reducing caffeine intake. It can be as simple as practicing breathing, going to bed early, just one thing, and start to work on that, and then slowly add to that over time. Oftentimes we create this overwhelming list of all the things we think we need to do to improve our health. So we're encouraging you to pick one. And so taking walks, yoga, doing some stretching, maybe while you're watching TV, just something to stimulate the endorphins in the brain. And so we're going to hop into our yoga session. We will be doing some mindfulness and meditation in conjunction with the yoga near the end of the practice. And I want to, for anybody that hasn't heard me say this already, if you have a folded blanket or towel or two nearby, I would encourage you to grab those now before we get started. I'm also going to, and forgive me, I need to click a window off so I can see myself, so I can make sure you see me. Okay, sorry about that. So as we get into our yoga practice today, please do not feel like you need to force yourself into any position that your body doesn't naturally go. Get as close as what's comfortable for you. I am in easy seated. This is where we're going to start today. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can be seated in a sturdy chair. Maybe you have your legs out in front of you with your knees bent. The goal is to have a nice straight spine. What I'm going to do right now is take our blanket, and I'll just use two since I happen to have two here. And I'm going to come into easy seated from sitting on top of these blankets. And that just raises our hips up enough above our knees, so it helps us have a nice long spine. So if you have blankets or towels nearby, you have some time to go ahead and fold those up and get into a seated position. We're going to start right from here. Again, if this is uncomfortable for you, find a seat that's comfortable. The ultimate goal is to be sitting up nice and tall, whatever that may look like for you. And then we're just going to take maybe 2 or 3 deep breaths on your own time and at your own pace, breathing in deeply through the nose. Try to fill up the lungs, feel the rib cage expand, fill the belly. So maybe the deepest breath you've taken all day or all week. Deep breath in through the nose, and then also exhale out through the nose. 2 or 3 of those. Just settling into the practice. We won't be in the seated position much longer. And then come back to your normal breath rhythm. And again, during today's practice, if there's anything that's uncomfortable, I'll give as many modifications as I can, but the goal today is to not force yourself into a position that does not feel right for your body. So honor your body where it is, and certainly if there are questions or concerns, if you want to put them in the chat, we'll monitor that as best we're able, and I'll try to address it as we go. But I appreciate any patience as we do this virtually. So you're sitting up on blankets or towels. You're sitting up nice and tall. You may be seated in a chair. We want to just tuck the chin in slightly so the crown of the head is pointed up toward the ceiling. Palms can be resting on the kneecaps or the thighs, palms down, palms up, whatever's most comfortable for you. Maybe palms are in the lap. And we're just going to start by using our nose like a pencil and just draw small circles in front of the face, either direction, about the size of maybe a saucer, like you would put a teacup on. So a small circle. And then let's make that circle a little bigger and go to maybe a salad plate size circle, same direction. And then we're going to go make our way to a dinner plate size circle, same direction. Eyes can close here if you'd like. And then keeping that dinner plate size circle, just reverse the circle. So still keeping the large circle, we're just going to work our way down this time. Opposite direction. Now make that circle about the size of your salad plate. A little bit smaller. We're still sitting up nice and tall. Shoulders are relaxed, face is soft. And now bring it down to a saucer size circle. Nice. And then just bring the head to stillness. We're going to take a nice big inhale, and on an exhale, just let the right ear drift down toward the right shoulder. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, take it to the other side. Again, shoulders are relaxed and down, face is soft. We're not trying to force any particular shape here. Inhale back up to center. And now just gently shake the head no, bringing the chin around to one shoulder or the other. Doesn't matter which direction you head toward first. Just a nice shake of the head no, nice and slow. We're warming up the top part of the spine, which is the neck, this vertebrae in the neck. And then whenever you feel balanced, come to stillness at center, and then just nod the head yes, bringing the chin down to the chest. And you can bring the head back Just don't bring it so far back that you're crunching those vertebrae in the back of the neck. So just a slight tip of the head back. Nice. And if your knees and hips are starting to talk to you at this point, shift positions if necessary. We're only going to be here for maybe a minute or two more. We're sitting up nice and tall again. We're going to bring our hands out to our sides, anywhere you want them to be. And we're going to inhale the shoulders up toward the ears and exhale the shoulders back and down. Inhale the shoulders forward and up, and exhale the shoulders back and down. Really exaggerate the movement. Inhale forward and up, and exhale back and down. And then hold here at the bottom. And now we're just going to reverse. Inhale, bring the shoulder blades toward the spine. So you're bringing the shoulders back and forward on that inhale, and exhale forward and down. So inhale, back and up, and exhale forward and down. And inhale, back and up, and exhale forward and down. And if you're like me, you are hearing all kinds of interesting noises coming from your neck and your upper back and shoulders. So we'll hold here. We've warmed up the neck and the shoulders just a little bit. We're going to work on the main part of the spine, the spinal warm up, and then after this next one, we'll come out of easy seated. So fingerprints or palms are on your mat or the floor. We're going to inhale the right arm up and overhead. Again, you may be out wide. If right up and overhead is too much stress on your shoulder, do what feels right for you. And then on an exhale, just a nice gentle lean over to the left. Inhaling back up to center, exhale that hand down. Inhale the left arm up, exhale over, inhale up, and exhale down. Focusing on when we come over, top shoulder is right over the bottom shoulder. Inhale, right arm up, exhale over, small movement. Inhale up, exhale that down. Inhale up, exhale over, inhale up, and exhale down. One more on each side. Inhaling up, exhaling over, inhaling up, and exhaling down. Last one on this side. Inhaling up, exhaling over, inhaling up, and exhaling down. Release, relax. We're going to come out of easy seated. Take your time transitioning. You can bring the feet to one side or the other, doesn't matter which. Move your blankets or towels off to the side, but keep them within reach. And we're going to make our way onto all fours in tabletop. So we're going to stack our joints. My shoulder is right over my wrist, and my hip points are right over my knees. My shins and feet are in line with the knee joints. So my toes aren't touching and my feet aren't splayed out wide. So we're in our nice tabletop position. We're pushing up and away from our mat. Tops of the feet are on the mat. If you need to curl the toes under, if that feels better for you, feel free to do either one of those things. We're going to work on extension and flexion of the spine. On an inhale, let the tailbone curl up toward the ceiling. The belly drops down toward the floor. The heart radiates forward. We gaze slightly forward. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then on an exhale, curl that tailbone under. Pull the navel up toward the spine. Arch the upper back. Really push the shoulder blades left to right. And then we gaze toward our belly button. Our head is down. And then inhale. This is cow. Tailbone up, belly down, heart forward, shoulders away from the ears, gazing slightly forward. Exhale, scoop that tailbone under, pull that belly button up toward the spine, arch the upper back, drop the head. Inhale, right into cow, tailbone up, belly down, heart forward, shoulders back, gaze forward. Exhale, scoop the tailbone, belly up, upper back arched, head dropped. And then do 2 or 3 of these at your own breath pace. So we're inhaling in cow, exhaling in cat. So feel this movement. Inhaling as the belly drops, exhaling as we arch the upper back. And then wherever you are, finish up that last cat and come back into tabletop. And we are going to make our way into a standing position. So I want you to walk your hands forward slightly, curl the toes under. We're going to come into a downward facing dog. Give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, you can just make your way to standing at the top of your mat or the top of your towel or wherever you happen to be practicing. But curl the toes under. We're going to take a nice big inhale, and on an exhale, lift the knees off the mat, push the tailbone up toward the ceiling, and we come into a downward facing dog. We're not going to be here very long. You can pedal out the feet, lifting and lowering the heels, bending and unbending the knees. Shoulders are away from the ears, elbow creases are rotated forward. And then wherever you are, come to stillness. And then begin to walk the feet up toward the hands. You can cross one foot in front of the other if that's available to you. You can take big steps, baby steps. Maybe you just walk straight up toward your hands. And we're going to meet at the top of our mat in forward fold. So we're coming here into forward fold. Knees can be very generously bent in forward fold. Again, here's an opportunity to not try to force our body into a shape. If it's available to you, wonderful. If it is not, a very bent knee forward fold is perfectly acceptable. Let the head hang heavy. Let the arms hang heavy. You may even grab the elbows and just rock a little side to side here in your forward fold. And then release the hands back down to your mat. We're going to come up halfway. So on an inhale, let the fingerprints drag across the tops of your feet, up your shins, stopping at your thighs. We're making like the number 7. So shoulders are away from the ears. We have a nice teacup balanced on our upper back. And we're gazing straight down at the floor. On an exhale, slowly lower back down into forward fold. And then on an inhale, we're coming all the way up. Let those fingerprints drag up the tops of the legs. Let one vertebrae stack on top of the other until you come all the way up into a standing pose. I'm going to turn on my mat so you can see and take a minute to adjust your clothing. I think we all end up doing that at some point. We're coming into our mountain pose. Wherever you are able to see me, I have my mats crossed so I can change positions for easier visibility for you guys. So my feet are shoulder width, hip distance apart. That's about 2 fists between the feet. We're coming into mountain pose. So if hands are facing me, palms are facing me. Shoulders are back and down. And we have a little softness in the knees, so our knees are not locked back. We are also tilting that pelvis so that tailbone is pointed down toward the floor, helps protect the low back. And here we are in mountain pose. Tuck the chin in slightly so the crown of the head points up toward the ceiling. And we're going to do our last spinal warm up, which is a gentle twist. So on an inhale, inhale both arms up and overhead. And on an exhale, twist gently to the right and drop one arm in the front of the body and one arm in the back. Inhale, both arms up and overhead as you unravel back to center. Exhale, take it to the other side. We're inhaling, lifting the arms, unraveling back to center. Exhaling, twist back to the right, arms lowered. Inhale, arms rise. We unravel to center. Exhale, twist to the left, arms drop. Inhale, unravel, arms up. Exhale, last twist to the right, arms lower. Inhale, unravel. And exhale, take that last twist to the left. Inhale, unravel back to center. And then this time, both arms lower back down toward our sides. Wonderful. Come forward up toward the top of our mat. Again, feet are going to be about hip distance apart. We're going to work on a warrior flow, and we'll go through this slowly and then speed up the process. And again, do what you're able. And pardon me, for any seasoned yogis that are on the Zoom call today, I encourage you to slow down and look at finding any nuances to the pose that you might have missed as you are going through your regular flow. So from here, we're coming into that mountain pose again. And then we're going to step back with that right leg, just slightly. Front knee is over front ankle. The right toes are pointed toward the right corner of our mat. That tailbone is pointed down toward the floor. And then arms are holding a big beach ball up and overhead. Our feet are on railroad tracks, so we do not have one foot behind the other. And I'm going to turn to the side, just so you have an idea. Again, front knee is over front ankle, and how far apart your feet are front to back is completely up to you. The closer they are together, the more stable that will feel for you. All right, so this is warrior one. Nice. And what we're going to do, we're going to step back into warrior two. So from here, that back foot just lifts slightly, and we turn the back foot parallel to the back edge of the mat or your wall. So the front heel of the front foot should be in line with the arch of the back foot or the heel of the back foot. Arms are going to come out parallel to the floor. You're gazing over that front middle finger. Front knee is over front ankle. So if you have that knee turned in, see if you can bring that knee out over the ankle again. Take a minute here if you want to drop the arms and look down at your feet to see where they are. Feel free to do that. Tailbone is pointed down again. We're gazing toward the front edge of the mat. Nice. And then I want you to take that pinky finger, if you can see mine waving, and pull it back slightly so you feel the chest open. So this is warrior two. From here, we're going to lean the upper body forward, turn the palm up on an inhale, and then on an exhale, we're going to let the back arm rest on the back leg and bring the arm overhead for a reverse warrior. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see that from the side. So we were here, and now we're just coming into this position here. So nice reverse warrior. Bring it back up to warrior two if you haven't already. And then the arm that's in the front, we're going to bend that arm, palm up, and the backhand this time is going to bring inhale up and exhale over until we're resting very lightly that forearm on the thigh. And if your upper arm may be here, maybe you're not here, that's completely fine. And then we're going to come right back up into warrior two. And then we're going to move from warrior two back into warrior one. So that back leg, we're on a tightrope right now. One foot is behind the other. We're going to come back onto those railroad tracks. So that foot comes out to the side now. We're in warrior one. Nice. And then I'm going to turn to the side again. Front knee is over front ankle. We're in warrior one. Arms can be out as wide as you need them to be to make room for your shoulders. We're going to take a nice big inhale, and on an exhale, we're going to bend over and come into a humble warrior. So we're not dumping our weight onto that thigh, just barely touching, and then we come right back up into warrior one. And I just lost my balance. So we'll make our way from humble warrior back into warrior one, and then we're going to step up into mountain pose. And we'll do that again on the other side. All right, so we're in warrior one. We're in mountain pose. This time, let's step back warrior one. Left leg goes back. Same thing here, front knee over front ankle, tailbone's pushing down toward the floor. Arms are as wide as necessary to allow for any flexibility issues. We're on railroad tracks. We're in warrior one. We're going to move from here to warrior two. So now we went from railroad tracks to a tightrope. Front heel is in line with the arch of the back foot or the heel of the back foot. Tailbone's pointing down. And then we're pulling those pinkies back and allowing an opening of the chest. And then here we go. We're going to make our way into reverse warrior. Upper body moves forward. We flip the palm and we inhale up and we exhale over. Again, how far over? Don't force yourself into a shape. Back hand is resting on the back leg. We inhale right back into warrior two. We're going to bend that front arm, palm up. And then this time we inhale the back arm up and overhead. And we rest gently. And again, you may not come, your arm may not come and point toward the front edge of your mat. It may be pointing up at the ceiling. The key is I can lift my forearm off of that thigh. I haven't dumped my weight into that arm. And then we're going to come right back up into warrior two. We're going to go from tightrope to railroad track. So step that foot around into warrior one. Left toes are pointing at the left corner of the mat, and then we step up. Whoops, I'm sorry. We'll hold here at warrior one, and we're going to exhale into that humble warrior. Again, just barely allow the belly and the chest to touch the upper thigh, and then we come right back up into warrior one, and now we step up into mountain. So we're going to create a little flow with that. Going to get the heart rate up if it isn't already, and follow along as best you're able. We're going to speed that up. So we're going from mountain to warrior one, to warrior two, to reverse warrior, to extended side angle, which was this deal. That was the best replica of that pose. And then we're coming back to warrior one, coming into humble warrior, and then back to mountain. And we'll try to incorporate the breath. Keep up as best you're able. If there's a piece of the pose or a pose that you're not able to do, just substitute with whatever works for you today. So we're finding that mountain pose. We're going to take a nice big inhale. Nice big exhale. Right out of the nose or the mouth. And here we go. We're going to take that nice big inhale. Exhale, step the right foot back, warrior one. Nice. Then we come into warrior two. Beautiful. We're going to take that nice big inhale. Upper body leans forward, palm turns up, and then we exhale. And here we are, reverse warrior. And then we come right back into warrior two. And then that palm turns up. I'm going to turn this way. The palm turns up and we inhale up and we exhale over. Again, hand can come wherever's comfortable for you. We inhale back up into warrior two. We're coming from our tightrope back to our railroad tracks. Warrior one. Exhale. Humble warrior. Front knee over front ankle. We're gazing down at the floor. Inhale back up to warrior one. And then we step up into mountain pose. Nice. I'm going to turn this way. And we'll do this from the side, from the other side. So we come into our mountain pose. Take a breath. We're here in mountain. Feet are shoulder distance, hip distance apart. This time we're going to step back left leg. Warrior one. Nice. A big beach ball up and overhead. Front knee over front ankle. We come right back into warrior two. We're now went from railroad tracks to a tightrope. Front heel is in line with the arch of the back foot or the heel of the back foot. We inhale, shift the body forward, turn that palm up, and we exhale over. Reverse warrior. Inhale, back up into warrior two, both palms down. We turn that front arm, bending at the elbow, bringing it in near the body, palm face up. Inhale the back arm over this time and exhale. And we rest gently. Again, that's just gently touching the thigh. Arm can be wherever is comfortable for you. And we inhale back up into warrior one. And then we're going right into warrior two. I'm sorry, reverse that, strike it and reverse it, as they say in Willy Wonka. We're in warrior two. We're coming back up into warrior one. And then from here, nice big inhale, beach balls being held up and overhead. And we are just going to hinge forward at the hips, coming into humble warrior. Inhale back up into warrior one. and then we step up into mountain. Nice. We're going to do that one more time, each side. So we'll pick up the pace just a little bit. And we're going to add an element after humble warrior. So hang tight. Here we go. Mountain pose. Find your mountain pose. Take a breath, take a drink, whatever you need to do. Find your mountain pose. We're going to step back, right leg, warrior one. Nice. Take it back to warrior two. I'm going to turn to the side again. Coming back into warrior two. And then here we go. We're going to lean the upper body forward, turn that palm over. We're inhaling, exhaling, nice reverse warrior. Inhaling back into warrior two. Turn that elbow, bend that elbow, turn that palm up. Inhale the back arm up and exhale over. Nice extended side angle. Again, wherever you need your arm to be to feel the most stable. We inhale back up into warrior two. Nice. We're coming up and around into warrior one. We take a nice big inhale. Really reach that beach ball up and overhead, and then exhale, hinging at the hips, coming into a nice humble warrior, gazing straight down at the mat. We're inhaling back up. And now take just like a half step forward in your warrior one. We're going to add a little balance here. Okay, so if you have a sturdy chair, counter, or desk, something nearby that you feel like you want as a prop in order to maintain your balance, feel free to rearrange yourself to get there. So we're in our warrior one, and we're going to begin just like our humble warrior. We're going to begin to hinge forward at the hips, and you can bring the top of the big toe to the mat and hold there in a warrior three, so the belly's not coming all the way to the thigh this time. Or you can bring that back leg up into a full warrior three, or somewhere in between. All right, so again, toes can be on the mat. You can be part way up, all the way up. Hands can be in like this Superman sort of feel. You can bring the hands under the heart, or if a counterbalance with arms up and overhead makes you feel more stable, go ahead and do that. So take a couple of seconds here to find your footing. Again, it's perfectly acceptable to have the big toe on the mat, and that's where you are today. Maybe you are all the way foot off the floor or somewhere in between. Wherever you are, come back into your warrior one, step up into mountain, and then shake it off. There's nothing like a balancing pose to get the heart rate up. So we're going to take that and do it on the other side. So come into your mountain pose. Again, take a breath, take a drink. You know what's coming. We're doing the same flow again, adding the warrior three at the end. So we're coming into that mountain pose. This time we're going to step back, left leg, right leg. I forget which leg we did. The opposite leg of what you just did. How's that? We're going to step back into warrior one. When I switch places, it's easy to lose track of which one we were on. So we're stepping into warrior one. Nice warrior two. Railroad tracks to a tightrope here. We're going to inhale. Body comes forward, palm turns up. We come up on that inhale and we exhale overhead. Inhale right back into warrior two. Front arm bends at the elbow. You're bringing the arm in close to the body, palm face up. This time back arm inhales up and exhales over. Again, bringing that arm wherever it is most comfortable for you. We inhale, back up into warrior two. Nice. We're going to step up and around into warrior one. Coming back to those railroad tracks, front knee over front ankle. Beach ball up and overhead. Exhale whenever you're ready. Hinging at the hips, coming into warrior two. We've got that Superman arm. I want you to really focus on knee over ankle, crown of the head really reaching forward, fingertips reaching back. Inhale, squeeze everything in and up. And we're back up into warrior one. So from here, we know what's coming. It's balancing on the other side. So take about a half step forward. Find your footing. And then we're going to begin that hinge forward at the hips. We're bringing the back toe to the mat. Palms can be face down. We're hinged forward here. We can have hands under the heart space. We can have hands up and overhead. Again, find what feels best. And then if you're ready, you can lift that back foot off of the floor to whatever. You don't want to bring it higher than hip height. So we're not way up here. It's level with, leg is parallel to the floor. All right, and wherever you are, everybody bring the toe and the foot back down to the floor. We come back up into warrior one, and we step up into mountain. Shake it off, take several deep breaths, grab a drink. We're going to begin cooling down. We've done a lot of hip opener moves today, a lot of stretching of the hip joint and into the legs. So we'll meet at the top of our mat in our mountain pose. We're going to make our way down toward the floor, throw in a little plank. So bear with me, do what you can. All right, so we're coming here into our mountain pose. I'm going to turn to the top of my mat so it's a little easier to see. We're going to inhale, circle sweep the arms up and overhead. Again, big beach ball here. Exhale, we're hinging at the hips. So you're pushing your bottom back, hinging at the hips, coming into that forward fold. Again, knees can be really generously bent here. You may notice after that warrior flow that you're a little more flexible and your knees don't have to be quite as bent. If they are, that's okay too. But we're in our forward fold here. Let the arms hang heavy, let the head hang heavy. Knees are as generously bent as is necessary for you. Nice calming forward fold. We're going to bring the fingertips or palms back to the mat, or maybe they're on your legs, wherever they happen to be. We're going to inhale, drag the fingerprints across the tops of the feet, up the shins, to the thighs. We're making that number 7 again, coming into a halfway lift. Shoulders are away from the ears. Our elbows are hugged in like little crickets. And then we exhale back down into our fold. Bend the knees generously enough here that you can plant the palms on your mat. And then we're going to step back with the right foot. We're going to step back with the left foot, and we're going to hold a plank here for just a couple of breaths. You've got this. You can do it. Really push up and away. Really dome that upper back, curling the toes. If necessary, drop those knees and lift the feet. If you need to do a modified half plank, that's perfectly acceptable. Wherever you need to be, we'll hold here for 3. We'll hold here for 2. You've got this. We'll hold here for 1, and then everybody come to the knees. Start to push yourself back. Bring the feet out to one side or the other, doesn't matter which, and you're making your way onto your bottom. And then we're coming all the way to our back. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. My heels are on the mat. You can have feet flat if that's more comfortable. Heels are on the mat. We're going to make our way down to our back. We're sitting up nice and tall. And then we're just going to slowly walk our hands down the backs of our thighs as lightly or as intensely as you need, and slowly begin to roll it down. Coming all the way onto our back. Bring the arms up and overhead. Again, you can have a big beach ball. You may have your shoulders right up by your ears, whatever feels best. You're taking a full body stretch, pointing the toes, flexing the feet. Maybe you rotate the ankles one way and then the other. Maybe you bring the shoulders way up by the ears and then release them, whatever feels best for you. Taking that full body stretch. And then I want everyone to bring the hands back down toward the sides. We're going to bend both knees, bringing the soles of both feet to the mat. And then I want you to walk your feet out about shoulder width apart. If you're on a yoga mat, you can walk them out as wide as your yoga mat because you have like a boundary with your yoga mat. If you don't have a yoga mat, just walk your feet out about as wide as your shoulders. And then I want you to take just very gentle, slow, small tick-tock movements from side to side. So you're not coming all the way over, just giving a little love to the low back for all your hard work. So gentle tick-tocks from side to side, a very small movement. We're not coming into a full twist. And then bring the knees to stillness when you feel balanced. And then walk the feet back into about hip distance apart. And bring the right knee in toward the chest. And bring the left knee in toward the chest. And you've got lots of options here. You can have one hand on each shin. You can have hands on the kneecaps. You can have hands grasped behind the thighs. You can grasp your pant legs on the sides. Whatever works best for you. You're just pulling the knees in toward the chest very gently, holding the movement. Don't take any bouncing movements. Just a nice, slow, gentle stretch for the low back and the hamstrings. And while your feet are hanging out, you can just rotate the ankles one way and then the other, point and flex the feet while they're hanging out in space. Give them a little love too. Hug those knees in toward the chest a little bit closer. If you're feeling extra frisky today and you want to try something, you can lift the head and the shoulders off of the mat and bring the nose toward the knees and then set that down nice and long. Everybody release the soles of the feet back down to the mat. Take a breath. And then we're going to take the right leg out long, the left leg out long, and let the right foot turn out toward the right, the left foot turn out toward the left. Arms are going to come down by your sides, palms face up. Try to snuggle the shoulder blades underneath the chest cavity. So to do that, you would push against the back of your head and your elbows, lift the chest off of the mat or wherever you are, and snuggle those shoulder blades up alongside the spine. If this position is hard on your low back, legs out long like this, go ahead and bend both knees. Take the feet out wide and then bring the knees into touch. That will allow you to still relax and maybe take a little pressure off the low back. So again, feet can be out really wide with knees into touch or legs out long. Arms for everybody should be about 45 degrees away from the body, palms face up. You can close the eyes here. You can take a soft gaze. And I'll ask everybody to stay in this position. I'm going to sit myself up so I can project out my voice a little more easily. So from this lying position, take a nice deep breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Now on your next deep breath, I want you to inhale and I want you to blow the belly up with air like a balloon. Really bring the air through the chest, feel the rib cage expand, feel the belly expand, and then a nice slow exhale. Really slow down that exhale. We'll do 2 more like that. Inhaling through the nose, filling up the chest. Feel the chest rise, feel the ribs expand. Let that belly expand and fill with air. And then on the exhale, nice and slow, exhale all that air out. Just, I want you to feel like you're getting down into the very bottom of your lungs and clearing out any dusty air. You're just pulling it right out and exhaling. And then one last breath like that, inhaling through the nose, chest rises, ribs expand, belly expands, and then a nice, slow, gentle exhale. Taking your time on that exhale, the slower the better. And as we settle in for a little mindfulness meditation, get yourself into a comfortable position. If it's not on your back and you need to lay on your side, feel free to do that. We're going to be here for a few minutes. Eyes can remain closed here. Just follow the sound of my voice. You can have a soft gaze. This is often the hardest part of a yoga practice for many people, is being still. I'll just ask you to consider being gentle with yourself and being a curious observer of your own mind and body, and recognizing what may be causing you to be uncomfortable with stillness without any judgment. So from this comfortable position, with eyes closed or gaze soft, I want you to turn your attention to the scalp and allow the scalp to release and relax. And like warm honey, I want you to imagine your attention just slowly making your way to your ears and the space around the ears. And then letting those areas release. Kind of keeping that image of that warm honey, I want you to move your attention slowly up to the forehead, allowing the forehead to unwrinkle, smooth out, relax. That warmth moves to the temples. The temples grow soft. The eyes and the area around the eyes releases and softens. And that warm, comforting attention comes down to the cheeks, and the cheeks grow heavy. Maybe you part the lips slightly, unclench the teeth, allow the tongue to rest heavy at the back of the throat or at the bottom of the mouth. The whole head relaxes, releases. That comforting, warm, flowing sensation makes its way down the neck and into the shoulders. And your neck and shoulders release and relax. The upper arms and the elbows, the lower arms and the wrists, tops of the hands, palms of the hands and fingers grow heavy and weighted. Chest and the upper back release. The waist, the mid back, let go. The abdomen and the low back softens. The pelvis, the hips, the bottom grows heavy and sinks more deeply into the mat or into the floor. Allow that comforting warmth to move down the legs into the knees, lower legs, the ankles, the heels, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, and your sweet toes, releasing and relaxing the whole body. The whole body grows calmer, more relaxed, more peaceful. And as we take a moment for quiet, recognize that our minds are thinking minds, and it's perfectly normal to begin thinking. And I invite you to just label it thinking and gently guide yourself back to your breath, focusing on filling the chest and expanding the ribs and expanding the belly, and then letting it slowly go. Any thoughts that arise, notice without judgment, without emotion, without creating commentary. Back to the breath. Begin to deepen the breath if you haven't already. And we're going to begin to bring ourselves back into the present moment, making your way onto one side or the other, coming into a very comforting fetal-like position. Again, either side, left or right. You may bring the palms together under the temple, cheek, or in front of the face, knees tucked in. Finding what's comfortable for you on one side or the other. Eyes can remain closed here. And from this position, I invite you to take a moment to practice gratitude, giving thanks for whatever speaks to you on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. And if it feels right for you, I invite you to also just allow the edges of the mouth to curl up in the slightest of smiles or a full smile. Noticing how just a moment of gratitude and a smile has the potential to change your outlook on the day. And then slowly begin to make your way up into a seated position, any seated position. You can come back into easy seated up on blankets or towels, or you can have legs out long. Maybe you come back into a chair or up onto a couch. Just make your way into that seated position. Eyes can remain closed for this last bit, or you can begin to bat the eyelashes open, pardon me, and take a soft gaze. We're going to take one last breath together as a group. So once you make your way into whatever seated position is most comfortable for you, we'll take a couple of our normal breaths. And then here we go. We're going to take one last breath together. Nice big inhale here, in through the nose. And hold right at the top of that breath, and then slowly sigh it out. Shoulders are soft, face is relaxed. We'll bring those hands together in a prayer position right at heart center. A nice big inhale, exhale, drop the chin to the chest, just as a gentle reminder of the connection between head and heart. Inhale the head back up to center. I end all my classes with a namaste, which loosely translates to the light in me sees and honors the light in all of you. Namaste. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to Brandy, who sent you the email with the Zoom link today, or you can reach out to me directly, Kim Crider. My email is KCRIDER2@wellspan.org. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed today's Yoga for a Healthy Heart practice, and that you have something in mind as a small goal that you can start working on as soon as today's call is over. And I wish you all the very best and have an amazing day. Take care.